Taking off the uniform and transitioning back to civilian life is a massive milestone. But let's be honest, it can also feel incredibly overwhelming, right? You're suddenly faced with a mountain of information, countless websites, and a whole new set of acronyms. It's so easy to feel lost. But what if you had a master key, like a single unified compass to help navigate this entire journey? Well, you actually do. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to break down the Transition Interagency Website Guide, or the TIW. This is literally your ultimate roadmap. Okay, let's take a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start with a welcome to the guide, then cover how to read it, followed by planning your civilian career, navigating disability and benefits, and finally advancing your education goals. Section 1. Welcome to the guide. Transitioning out of the military usually involves, well, a massive sea of fragmented resources scattered all over the internet. But the TIW pulls all of that together into one structured, super accessible document. It curates a collection of assistance for service members, veterans, families, caregivers, the whole shebang. Basically, its main goal is to support the courses you take in the Transition Assistance Program, or TAP, and the Yellow Ribbon Reintegration Program, YRRP. Think of it as the ultimate master directory for literally everything you learned in those classes. Moving right along to Section 2, How to Read the Guide. Okay, before we dive into the actual links, I have to give you the ultimate cheat code for using this thing. Please, whatever you do, do not try to read this massive government PDF front to back like a novel. You will give yourself a headache. Instead, you're going to use these really simple search steps. Just open the PDF and use the search field. Or honestly, just hit Ctrl+F on your keyboard, type in your keywords or an organization's name, and boom, it's designed to pinpoint exactly what you need in seconds. So when you're scanning the tables, the very first column you'll spot is the resource name. These are conveniently alphabetized by major topic headings, which makes it incredibly easy to scan if you're more of a scroller than a searcher. Right next to that is the description column. And this is a total game changer, honestly, because it succinctly tells you what the tool actually does before you even bother clicking. It absolutely saves you from having to open up like a dozen tabs just to figure out what a website is actually for. Then, naturally, you've got the URL column. Direct, active, clickable links. One click straight from the PDF gets you exactly where you need to go. No fuss. Finally, there's the course column, which is just a brilliant addition. It links the resource right back to the specific transition assistance class where you originally heard about it. So if you're thinking, wait, I remember hearing about a tool in financial planning, but I totally forgot the name, well, this column helps you completely reverse engineer your search. And here is where we decode all that alphabet soup of agency acronyms you're going to find in that course column. The directory breaks it all down for us. DOW stands for Department of War, and they handle things like the pre-separation brief and the MOC crosswalk. DOL is the Department of Labor, managing employment fundamentals. Then you've got the VA running the VA Benefits and Services course, and the SBA, the Small Business Administration, covering boots to business. Just keep this key in mind as you navigate. Section 3. Planning your civilian career. The guide doesn't just hand you a generic list of jobs. Instead, it strategically breaks employment down into these highly specific, actionable subcategories. You can search specifically for internships, job boards, labor market info, or even tools that help translate your military terminology into civilian resume speak. It really lets you tackle your job hunt with, well, military precision. One of the absolute standout resources here is the COOL program, which stands for Credentialing Opportunities Online. If you're sitting there right now wondering how to translate your highly specific military skills, whether you are a medic, a mechanic, working in logistics, whatever, into a recognized civilian license or certification, COOL is exactly what you want to search for. The guide gives you direct links to the COOL programs for the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air and Space Force, and the Coast Guard. It's honestly a massive relief to find all of this in one spot. And notice how the directory goes a step further here, connecting career seekers directly with high-value apprenticeship opportunities. Through resources managed by the Department of Labor and programs like the United States Military Apprenticeship Program, it points you to platforms that connect you directly with employers and education partners who are looking for your exact skill set. Up next is Section 4, Navigating Disability and Benefits. When it comes to your benefits, time is absolutely of the essence. The guide heavily highlights the BDD program, or Benefits Delivery at Discharge. Basically, this resource explains exactly how to file a claim for disability benefits 180 to 90 days before you even leave the military. The whole goal here is to get your claims into the system before you take off the uniform for the last time. It makes for a much, much smoother transition of care. Now, if your transition involves a medical separation or retirement, the guide directs you to the Integrated Disability Evaluation System, or IDES. If you just search for IDES in the directory, it will immediately connect you to the precise VA resources that explain this pretty complex evaluation process. That way, you know exactly what to expect and what your rights are. Beyond just filing claims, the guide is also packed with resources to protect you once you're in the civilian workforce. It houses direct links to the Job Accommodation Network, or JAN, which provides free and confidential guidance on workplace accommodations. It also features comprehensive guides on your employment rights as a veteran under the Americans with Disabilities Act. It's all about making sure you're empowered and protected.
And our final stop, Section 5, Advancing Your Education Goals.
First things first, getting credit for the work you have already done. The guide clearly outlines exactly where to get your transcripts so you can turn your service experience into actual college credits. For example, it shows you where to request a joint services transcript, which validates experience across most branches, versus a CCAF transcript, which is specifically for enlisted members of the U.S. Air Force to request their academic records from the Community College of the Air Force. Once you have your transcripts sorted, you've got to choose a school, right? The guide curates these really powerful discovery tools to help you do just that. From the Department of Education's College Navigator, which lets you explore over 7,000 U.S. colleges, to the College Financing Plan and College Recon, these links literally take all the guesswork out of choosing the right institution and figuring out exactly how to pay for it. Before we wrap up, there's a quick pro tip hidden in the guide's disclaimer that I want to mention. The internet changes fast, right? While all these websites and URLs were active at publication, they can change. Always use these URLs as your starting point to confirm the latest info. And just keep in mind that these links are provided as helpful resources, not as formal endorsements of any specific commercial product or service. So we've covered a ton of ground in this explainer today, from decoding the directory's layout to pinpointing the exact resources you need for your career, your health, and your education. You now hold the ultimate map to navigate your transition. So it is time to take action. Open the guide, hit Control F, and ask yourself, are you going to keep wandering through endless, frustrating search results, or which resource district are you going to conquer today?